Let's talk about the relationship between corporate strategy and project management. If you have several projects going on, basically you form a portfolio of projects. Among different options, based on what criteria you should choose a project to do eventually, or you do a project in priority. One of the most important criteria is the company's corporate strategy. A company's corporate strategy is defined as a long-term goal that determines the corporate members' short-term activities. How can we identify a company's corporate strategy? In practice, we really use the strategic matrix, as you can see on this slide, to identify the strategy. You can use the matrix vertically. You can choose to be a cost leader or a differentiation leader. If your company chooses to be a cost leader, then pursuing a lower cost should be your company's corporate strategy, so that your company is able to provide cheaper products to the customers. Some managers believe that lower cost means poorer quality. This is obviously a misunderstanding. Instead of sacrificing the product quality, you can use other ways to lower the product cost and price. For instance, instead of offering 10 different models to the customers, you only offer one, so that you are able to use the economies of scale to lower the product cost and price. Your company can also choose to be a differentiation leader. If your company chooses this strategy, you need to provide better quality, better products to the customers. Because of this, your cost would be a little bit higher compared to the cost leaders. You can ask for a little bit higher prices for your products or service. You can also use this matrix horizontally. You can choose to be an industry-wide provider or to be a focused provider. If you choose the first strategy, industry-wide provider, then all the customers in the market should be your potential customers. If you choose the second strategy, a focused provider, you only look at a particular group of customers in the market, such as business professionals only, older customers only, customers with higher incomes only, and so on. Now I want you to use this matrix to answer a question. What should be Apple Computer's corporate strategy? Let me give everybody about a minute to think about your answers, and then I will share mine with you. Apple is such a well-known company. I believe many classmates can immediately identify the answer. Apple wants to be a differentiation leader with a focused market strategy. That's why Apple prices are usually higher than Windows PCs. The company only focuses on customers with higher incomes and so on. After you identify your company's corporate strategy, when a new project comes out, you always want to ask yourself a question. Will this new project serve my corporate strategy? If not, you have to be very careful before you start this brand new project. You have built so much to accomplish your long-term goal. If a project is against this goal, you will face two challenges. First, you don't have experience in accomplish a brand new project. Then basically you have to start learning from ground zero. Second, a corporate strategy determines a company's organizational structure, supply chain, base customer group, and so on. If you introduce a project with a completely different direction to your company, It may easily confuse your company's stakeholders, such as your customers. That's why it's very important for you to answer one question. If this new project will follow my corporate strategy. Now let's talk about the iPhone 5C and 5S projects. This was Apple's first attempt to diversify its iPhone product line. The 5C and 5S models are similar. For instance, they have the same screen size, same apps, same functionalities. The two models have differences as well. The cover for the 5S model was made of metals. The 5C model has plastic covers. The 5C model may not feel as solid and nice as the 5S model, but they are cheaper. Customers can have more color options for the covers in the 5C series. Now I have a question for everyone. Do you think developing the iPhone 5C and 5S models is a good decision for Apple? Why or why not? Let me give you about a minute to think about your answers, and then I will share some thought with everyone. As we just discussed, Apple's long-term goal is to become a differentiation leader with a focused market. This corporate strategy determined almost every step Apple previously took. The company built beautiful Apple stores to distribute its products in order to create a luxury brand image. The company charges a higher price so that it can focus more resources on the customers who can afford its products. But the 5C model is problematic. When a customer enters a luxury Apple store, sees something like iPhone 5C, the customer could have several questions. First, 5C is cheaper, but is it because it has a poorer quality? Second, does Apple start offering something cheaper? Should I wait a little bit longer for an even cheaper iPhone? Obviously, the confusions caused by the iPhone 5C model is not supportive for Apple to accomplish its long-term goal. Also, a very interesting result was the sales for the 5S model was much better than the 5C model. This result showed that the addition of a new model does not bring the expected growth to Apple. From this perspective, we can see 5C was a fail, and people never see Apple play the cover card or the color card again.